Hey everyone, it's James Lambert, the motivational coach and speaker. I went from knockouts to knowledge and from headlocks to hugs. I still embrace people, just now in a more positive way. So hello out there, how are you doing? I hope you're absolutely thriving on this terrific Tuesday. You join me at home with my furry friend here, Mr. Max, just taking it easy. And in this video, this broadcast, I just wanted to share a story with you because I was, for whatever reason, musing on it earlier this morning, as I so often do, sitting quiet time, meditation, call it what you will. Call it what you will. I just like, before the busyness of the day ensues, just to take a moment to prepare myself, as I've spoken about before, in the same way you may take the care to choose your clothes of a morning. I actually choose my attitude. I choose to be positive. I choose to be joyful and joy-filled. I choose to be happy. And lo and behold, I go out into the world and I feel great. I'm not waiting on other people's circumstances or places to make me feel better. Happiness is an inside job. I create it myself and it's self-sustaining. So no matter what the weather's doing or what's happening in the newspapers or the world out there, I'm in control of my state. I invite you to take control of your state as well. And moreover, just be peaceful, happy and content, like my man Mr. Max there. It's a beautiful thing. And it is within our control. You know, you control your thoughts. But yeah, the story I was ruminating on earlier was I grew up in southeast London, born in Lewisham, raised in Catford to be specific. And it was a very urban environment, quite violent, very busy, lots going on. And I remember as I got older, into my late teens, for a period of time, I began smoking. Now, I was still training and fighting and that. It was just something I did. It started off, I suppose, socially. You know, when you first start going to the pub and so on. The point was, I was a smoker. So sometimes I used to walk down into Catford. And for those of you that know it, there was a newsagent opposite the Catford Bridge station, I think it was. And inevitably, I used to walk past there. I'd be smoking. And a fellow angry young man would sort of say, you know, all right, bruv, you got a spare cigarette? Now, such was my stinking thinking at the time. You know, I freely admit I was very pessimistic, very angry, very negative, very violent. And lo and behold, as I've spoken about, the world is like a mirror. I went out and encountered other miserable, angry, depressed, violent, hate-filled individuals. However, I didn't know that at the time. And so, as I say, I'd be walking along, smoking. Somebody would say, you got a spare cigarette, bruv? And I would answer, typically, do I look like a beeping newsagent? That's just being honest with you. That's how I felt. You know, that's how I felt. I thought, you know, I've worked hard. I've had to buy these cigarettes. Why don't you do the same? And to put it further in context, these weren't homeless men. By the way, they were, you know, young men, with, you know, capable of work, had the full control of their limbs. Anyway, I responded as I did, you know, do I look like a beeping newsagent? And invariably, it would be met with one of two responses. They would look at me quite shocked and think I was crazy, which at the time they were probably half right, and, you know, get on their way. That was one scenario. Or the opposite was, their ego came to the fore, as mine had done in responding in such a manner, and it would inevitably kick off. A physical altercation would ensue. I had to do what I did. But it was also unnecessary looking back on it. It was also unnecessary. And what I've since learned, happily, is that it's a real honour to give to others. Moreover, it makes me feel tremendous. My happiest times now, genuinely, not just at Christmas, throughout the year, whether giving to friends, family members or charity, just to complete strangers. The joke is I feel tremendous when I give. Now, it's taken me most of my life to get that. But, you know, for those of you that have done this, you'll know what I mean. But when you give to others and you see whether it's a gift or your time or a kind word, when you see how they respond, how does that make you feel? It's a beautiful... Oh, hi, Jack. I was born in Lewisham, raised in Catford, South East London. Now happily living in West Sussex. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for your attention. So yeah, just talking about how some of my happiest times now are giving to others. And I encourage you to experiment with this yourself. You know, when you say a nice word, you compliment someone, you can try it today. And you see the genuine look of joy that it brings to their face. You know, their whole stature changes. They might stand upright a bit more. It's a beautiful thing. How does that relate to me previously? Well, if somebody had asked me for a cigarette, know that I have the capacity, the power to make them happier. The joke was I had spare cigarettes. I could have given it with a good, kind, open heart. They would have felt better. I would have felt better. It's a beautiful win-win that, as I've spoken about so passionately before, I believe is built into the very fabric of the universe. It works best. We go with the flow when we develop win-win scenarios. So when you make someone feel, you know, you try, you compliment someone, inevitably they cannot help themselves but compliment you back. It's the natural order of things. We see it all the time in nature. There's a give and a take. I've spoken about recently when I was at the beach and I was just awestruck with the way the sea was gently lapping, almost kissing as it were, the beach line, the shoreline, and then receded. And there was this lovely ebb and flow. And I thought, look at that. Even in nature, there is this wonderful, there's a time to give and a time to take. Likewise, when we do that in our own lives, it becomes a lot more happier, a lot more peaceful, and you as a result become a lot more content. So I invite you to experiment with that in your own lives today and going through this beautiful month of August. And so as I say, things could have been a lot different then, but that was then. I've had the pleasure to change, to develop my knowledge and wisdom, and now I give with a gracious, open, loving heart. Lo and behold, is it a coincidence? Methinks not. My life has become so much more happier. Now, I don't smoke anymore, but if somebody was to ask me for something or a cigarette, I would gladly give it, knowing that this is an important distinction or caveat, knowing that that is always enough. I read once, I believe it was in the Upanishads, the Hindu Holy Bible, that I once took from abundance. What was it? Let me get this right. I went to abundance. I took abundance from abundance, and yet abundance remained. And that means you can never outgive the universe in all the good things, kindness, compassion, love, peace, harmony, all the wonderful things. You can never give them enough. So indeed, the more you give, you find that you, in your own turn, are blessed with more to give to others. And you see, it keeps this circle thing, like a circle, it has no beginning and end. A time to give, a time to receive. And precisely because you keep the flow, you keep giving out, not always monetary, not always fiscal funds, but your love, your kindness, your time, your compassion. When you give those things, you receive more and you keep giving. You see, it's those that actually are like stingy. Stingy, it starts as a mindset. When you hoard things, when you hoard anything, including money, it stagnates. The freshest water flows. Likewise, in your life, keep on moving literally and figuratively. So, yes. Oh, hello, Wendy. I've just seen you. I'm just finishing up. That's my lovely neighbour who makes the best cakes. So yes, I encourage you to give with an open heart, with much, much love, unlike I did before, but I happily do now. And from my heart to yours, and from little Max here, remember, you are unstoppable, and I believe in you. Until next time.